Hope has been engaged with our firm and speaking with another partner at our firm with respect to the issues that have been the noise-related issues when the good night came in, and subsequently with the smoke issues. So progress where it's gone, there was a lot of back and forth, not necessarily between my law firm and the landlord, but there has been some recent back and forth between my law firm and the landlord with respect to the status of the lease, the issues that are being faced with respect to the noise intruding into the treatment areas, and more importantly, or perhaps more pointedly right now, with the potential smoke issues that are coming into place. We've been engaged in discussions now, I think hopefully seem like substantive discussions with the landlord with respect to potentially moving out of the space and then finding the center new space to go to, which hopefully will make some financial and legal sense for the center as well. Those discussions are ongoing today. In fact, there were discussions today with the landlord about that. There's not a ton of information to give you on that, but just know that Hope has engaged us, and we're doing everything we can to try and keep the landlord at the table. And as Hope mentioned, negotiating in good faith, negotiating in your best. We're trying to negotiate not only in the center's best interest, but also in yours, to get you a place where you can get to safely and soundly and get the therapy and treatment plans that you need. We're trying to avoid having to go the lawsuit route, because Hope said, although there are grounds for that, there are grounds for that under various scenarios. We're trying to avoid that, trying to get the table, because the longer a lawsuit goes on, more likely than not, the longer this will be protracted. We're trying to do the quickest, most efficacious way to get this resolved. There's actually some good news, I believe, today that lends me to think something, knock on wood, touch wood, whatever phrase you want to use, a resolution will happen soon. If it doesn't, we're prepared to go to the mat for the center to protect the center's legal interests. There's several issues facing the center right now, and so there's a matter of law out there called constructive eviction. And basically what that means is that the center, through various reasons or actions or inactions of the landlord, has become untenable for the permitted use for which the premises were leased. So in this instance, it's an auditory, it's a music therapy center, treating autistic kids, NICU kids, other folks with various PTSD, whatever the issues might be. Allowing a bowling alley to go in next door has effectively destroyed the center's right to quiet enjoyment of that center. Allowing smoke to come in, allowing the smokestack without the smokestack, I think there's a question whether or not smokestacks meet codes. I think there's a question whether the closing of the shutters is up to code. So the landlord's actions or inactions are effectively causing the center, Hope in the center, to be constructively evicted, i.e. they can't use the space as it was intended. At that point in time, there are avenues to file suit to do that, to claim constructive eviction, seek damages. But that is, you guys have seen it, you've heard it all before, and it truly is, it can be a relatively long and drawn out scenario. Doesn't necessarily mean it would be in this case, but basically the actions or inactions of the landlord have caused the space to be untenable. Therefore the center is deeming that, landlord, you've evicted me, and landlord, you've evicted me wrongfully. So that's kind of the machinations and discussions we're going back and forth with the landlord to try and get some options for Hope in the center to move on and do so where it doesn't put the center out of business. So I guess that's a quick and dirty update, which is, I guess, an oddly appropriate term given the potential air issues there. So that's really, again, we are here. If you have questions or concerns, feel free. I know we're having a Q&A today, but if you have something you don't feel comfortable divulging into the group or speaking as a group, Hope has my contact information. I'll have some cards. I'll leave some cards as well if you have questions, concerns. I know there's been an outpouring of support, not only from you as a group, but from people outside. While I don't believe the center should discourage you necessarily from making statements, I don't want the center to encourage you to go make statements to third parties about your experiences. The rationale being that I would like to, at least at this point in time, keep the landlord at the table, landlord's counsel at the table negotiating. If I feel like that is going to fall through, then I'm going to unleash the dogs, and off we go with various plans that we can do from a PR perspective, from a lawsuit perspective. So I know you all, you got all this bundled up in you. You want to say, you want to tell somebody. My only caution to you is that may not necessarily be beneficial to where we're at currently.